And just very briefly, the two questions are linked, and one to ask the Minister what action has been taken in relation to the challenges identified by the approved housing sector in delivering on their targets, and the other one is in relation to homelessness and the stark increase in numbers in Galway City and County.
Increasing housing supply and addressing homelessness is a priority for government and will continue to support all local authorities, including both Galway City and County Councils, to deliver on this agenda. Housing for All sets out national housing policy and implementation measures up to 2030. In September 2021, Minister O'Brien issued social housing targets to each local authority, including Galway City and Galway County, setting out build and leasing targets over the next 5 years. A key action of Housing for All is that local authorities will develop and submit housing delivery policy action plans to include details of social and affordable housing delivery. All local authorities submitted their action plans in December. My department is now working closely with the local authorities to review and finalise the plans. The plans will be published by the local authorities before the end of Q2. Under Housing for All, the funding is in place to support both Galway local authorities, including the approved housing bodies with whom they work, and we are keen that they progress their social housing schemes as quickly as possible and that they receive the support of public representatives in the advancement of their programmes. My department has provided significant resources to both councils in order to address the issues raised by the task force. To date, in 2022, the task force has met once, and a further 3 meetings are scheduled for this year, with one being this month, I think the 10th of May, as far as I understand it. Housing for All recognises the significant role that AHBs have played and continue to play as partners for social housing delivery. We are also aware of the challenges presented to the CAF funding model in certain areas outside of the main urban centres where rent levels are lower. And Commitment 410 under Housing for All is a specific action to review the structure of the P&A CAF funding model. And the review will determine if funding models should be adjusted to support the delivery by AHBs across a wider range of areas and what options might be available to enable this. Work is underway on the review by my department with the support of the Housing Agency and is on track to be completed by Q4 of this year. Our department is closely monitoring the issues of homelessness, including traveller homelessness in Galway City and County, which I understand is particularly acute, a particular significant problem. I know Minister Burke is working with their local authorities in that regard. At a meeting of Galway Social Housing Task Force on the 15th of February, it was proposed by my department that a subgroup on homelessness with a particular focus on traveller homelessness be established and a report back to the task force. The subgroup, which has held its first meeting, is chaired by officials out of my department, with members also including representatives of both local authorities. And the next meeting, Galway Social Housing Force, is scheduled to take place on the 10th of May. And again, I might come back in the supplementary just in relation specifically to some of the activations around travel accommodation in Galway County between this and last year, and some of the funding that has been allocated. But I do think specifically we do have a challenge in relation to traveller homelessness in Galway, which needs to be addressed.
But thank you for the response. And I made my contribution last night. I highlighted the acute situation in Galway, the extraordinary rise in rents in the county, in the city, up over 115% from the trough and so on. The homelessness is acute. And I have a very serious concern that the new task force will be like the new subgroup, will be like the existing task force, which meets, which monitors, and the situation gets worse. So, Minister, they're actually monitoring a situation that's becoming unbearable and unsustainable, which calls for serious reflection on our policies in relation to housing, not just in Galway, but generally.